Hindustan Times is an 85-year-old brand. We have a rich heritage and tradition and a huge loyal following of people, many people who've read us and who read us through generations, passing on the habit from one generation to the other. But as with many old brands, sometimes you find that the younger reader may find an old brand a little too old for his liking. One of the reasons why we did this restaging and the relaunching of Hindustan Times was to be closer and attract more loyal younger readers and bring them into our fold.
I think it's really quite simple. We figured after extensive research and anecdotal evidence that readers essentially want to be entertained and informed. They want depth and they want understanding from the newspaper. This much was pretty clear. Beginning with this, we went about trying to recreate the paper.
And it's different, especially for us in Bombay, compared to, say, Delhi, because we don't have the baggage that Delhi has. Here we are a new, young, vibrant newspaper. At the same time, I think it's difficult for us, more difficult than, say, Delhi, because we don't have an accepted identity. We need to create that. We need to tell people who we want to be and who we are. I think a lot of this we had somewhat figured out after research, after talking to people, internal discussions, well before what you see, the new paper in your hands now. What we sort of figured was that we wanted to be an edgy, urbane newspaper. We wanted to be a paper which was credible and yet which wasn't boring. We want to be lively without dumbing ourselves down, and we want to be serious, intelligent, substantial without being stodgy.
We had to have a character. We had to have a brand look, and that is precisely what we have tried to do. The total color set that we have changed is very young and youthful. There is a freshness to this page that makes it enticing and inviting.
To deliver real understanding has been a challenge. I will admit this.
So how does a newspaper address the reader next morning and keep his interest in news that he might have known has already happened? That is the big challenge, and that is where a newspaper like Hindustan Times goes beyond what happened to why it happened and how it may affect you. So it is a futuristic spin on news that we try to give to our readers, and that is what the new HT is all about.
The way the news is consumed next day in the paper, you are giving a lot of behind the scene kind of things. You need to show it graphically. The reader gets hooked to these kind of graphics, where we are taking him through the news visually.
The average reader today lives a life which is full of clutter. He has no time, not enough time to read the news. He's in a rush, so he has to grab news, grab breakfast, grab a coffee, do everything in a much more compressed period of time. How does a newspaper address this? So that is where design and content really work together to make it easier for the man on the, or woman on the run to get the news.
We are hoping that this will be a very easy paper to read. Scan and surf, this is the motto with which we have recreated this paper. You can either choose to just literally scan and surf the paper, read just the headlines, the straps, the photo captions, the blurbs, so that on a busy day you can just scan through the paper.
From the page 1 itself, when you go to the sections, every section has a separate mast kind of a thing. The metro has a bigger navigation on the front page, then you move on to the nation, you move on to the sports, then you have a business which is a pull out here in Delhi.
We have deliberately kept it very muted, very steady, that only eases the choice of reading and does not intrude into that space.
Today's reader tries, instead of reading, he scans and surfs the news. whether it's on the internet, whether it's on a piece of paper, whether it's a newspaper, whether it's on the phone, wherever. So, which is what the new Hindustan Times is going to do. One of the things we've seen is that readers spend a lot more time on the weekends reading the paper. They have more time, it's usually a holiday, so they spend a lot more time with the newspaper.
Saturday is no longer a Saturday. Friday is the new Saturday, right? And on a Saturday, you do. On a Sunday, you think. And that's precisely what we have done for our Saturday and the Sunday sections. We have a short 4-page section on Saturday and a larger 7-page section on Sunday.
And that is why you will find that the new Hindustan Times on the weekend will have a lot of special content, a lot of features, a lot of leisure reading, a lot of things that people can read and reflect upon at leisure and spend a lot more time on. Through the week too, we have tried to include content which aims at different categories of readers.
Definitely a much better offering in terms of our supplements. We done HT City in Delhi, HT Cafe in Bombay, HT Lives, HT Estates. But the key thing here is everything is HT this and HT that. Quite clearly, we want the reader to go away looking at HT as the only brand that he can trust, the only brand that delivers to him, the only brand that is his.